What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Honda Recap. We got some stuff to talk about last week and some new things to talk about this week. Let's get in this. What's cracking, guys? Welcome back to yet again another episode of the Honda Recap. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this thing airs. Basically going over everything that's been going on this week in Honda on YouTube. How you all doing in Premiere right now? If you guys all do me a minute, if you're here right now, make sure you go and leave a comment and hit that thumbs up button so that way we can get more people in here to hang out, have discussions, and hang out on this Monday night. I want to give you a huge shout out to our sponsor Dem C Corp, bringing you the all-wheel drive billet bell housing, coming to you very soon. But they're much more than people that are just bringing you an all-wheel drive billet bell housing. These guys are a think tank, creative engineers, manufacturing firm that can basically take an idea you have and actually make it a possibility with a full staff of engineers right there waiting for you. So if you've ever had an idea, I want to make this, or could this be possible, definitely reach out to them. They can definitely help you make that happen. Following that, a big shout out to invictusjp, bringing you JDM bronze glass for the EF and AG hatches, but I believe they're coming out with a lot more. And make sure you guys also head over to Thehondavlogs.com/shop. Pick yourself up a shirt, a hoodie, a sticker, or anything else you guys need to support the channel. Thank you. All right, guys, I wanted to say a big thank you to everybody out there who comment last week about, is the Honda scene saturated? It was actually really cool. I love to see how big of the turnout we actually had in the recap last week with the comments and all the things you guys said and reached out to me personally. I don't think the actual scene is saturated as some of you may think, but also some of you agree with me that it is open for everybody. So this week I wanted to throw out another question for you guys to kind of think out and for us to actually have a big discussion on, and that is all-wheel drive here to stay? And that's something I've been thinking about for quite some time, as the all-wheel drive craze is something happening now. Front-wheel drive Hondas have been a thing since forever. We've been at the drag races, we've been at the circuit, we've been everywhere, pushing the limit of what front-wheel drive is actually possible. People did obviously realize that the wagons came with a viscous coupler, rear differential, and a bunch of things obviously that could bolt into any other platform to make it all-wheel drive. I'm not saying that this is recently, but in the past 3 years, I would say a lot of people have been pushing the limits of what all-wheel drive Hondas are capable of, and they are capable of very fast times. And as right now, everybody is basically building their car with 30-year-old technology, viscous cups, rear differentials, chopping rear trailing arms to make it fit EFs, EGs, EKs. This is the new thing to do. But my thing that I'm wondering is it here to stay? Obviously, all-wheel drive is not necessarily new, but it is here, and it is making people rethink how they want to build their cars, because not only can you go front-wheel drive, you can also go all-wheel drive. And later on, I'll talk about rear-wheel drive. But it's very interesting to have a tiny chassis just like that, rear-wheel drive. It would actually be pretty fun, right? But what would it take to actually make that happen? Right now, all-wheel drive is the thing that's going on right now. B-Series, you need a B-Series all-wheel drive transmission. K-Series, which is apparently the way, you need the K-Series all-wheel drive transmission and all the things that go along with that. But like that said, at some point, is it possible that all of those things become very, very expensive because the numbers are starting to shrink? It's actually very difficult to find a B-Series all-wheel drive transmission. It's a little harder to find a K-Series all-wheel drive transmission. Yes, they're actually out there. You can find them, but as more and more cars are crashed, sent to the junkyard, or just basically scrapped, those numbers are getting smaller and smaller, so we have to take care of those, and that is just the front of the car. As you move back, you are changing everything to a rear differential, viscous coupler, transfer cases, all of the things that go along with that. It's actually making it harder and harder to find, and a lot of people are taking old technology to try to make this happen. It's just really interesting to me because if you think about it, there's only so many cars out there that have all-wheel drive from the get-go. We've got, the GSX, the Mitsubishi GSX a long time ago, mid-90s, early 2000s, had all-wheel drive in it already. WRXs have been all-wheel drive for a very, very long time, and they have continued to push what they have going with that technology. Honda just didn't really get into the all-wheel drive market they kind of stopped at the wagons, maybe another car, but they stopped at the wagons. And then very recently, we've been bringing all of that back to make all-wheel drive cars. So I guess my question to you is, what's going to happen if all of these parts start to disappear? What is the next step for Honda actually staying all-wheel drive? I know the YouTube channel Throttle is actually going to go right-hand drive with their EK, and that's interesting because, you know, not many people are going rear-wheel drive. All-wheel drive seems to be the way most people want to go right now if they're going to change from front-wheel drive, if they're not keeping the front-wheel drive. So my question to you is, do you think all-wheel drive is here to stay? Do you think it's the future? And if it is the future, how do you think technology is going to change in the next 3 to 5 years to actually make it available for everybody? Because at some point, you know, you got the all-wheel drive champion World Cup guys. They must have thousands of dollars worth of all-wheel drive transmissions, diffs, and everything else that goes along with it so that they can go out there, run eights. If they blow something up, they can still make it to the track the next day. So with that said, is all-wheel drive the way? How long do you think it's going to last? I really hope it's going to last personally. If you were to ask me, hey, Christian, do you think all-wheel drive is the way to go? I do think so. I think it's actually really fun. It's a way to drive the car that you've never really driven it before, to have all-wheel drive, like the Subarus or the Evos of the world. It's just a different way to drive the car. I'm much more of a circuit person than I am a drag racing person. So at that point, I would love to see an all-wheel drive Civic on the track. Feel what that grip is like. All four-wheel drive on the track. That kind of grip would feel insane. I know when you drive a Subaru, it's weird because it's like a brick when you turn. It's just a solid one object that makes a turn, and usually when you're front wheel drive, you're kind of just throwing the back end into things. So I'd really love to see the way all-wheel drive progresses, at least in the Honda scene. I believe a lot of people right now that are moving from front wheel drive to all-wheel drive are really going to want to see things move. And if you follow the market right now, there's a lot of people coming out with their versions of everything: rear kits, differentials, getting out of the viscous cup, transmissions. The bell housing scenes are definitely coming out really fast right now. So I believe if you're an aftermarket creator, engineer, or fabricator, you're looking at the market, and if you follow it, all-wheel drive is definitely where you want to be. So if you're looking to build something for the future, I think the all-wheel drive platform is definitely a business that you want to get into as of right now. So I do see it actually lasting. And with that said, I really hope it does, because I think it's just going to bring an extra little spice to the Honda world and just bring us into the competitive market when it comes to drag racing or circuit racing, like I said before, because we don't have to just stay in the front wheel drive class. We can actually win races in all-wheel drive. And if a rear-wheel drive conversion or something like that becomes mainstream, let's go ahead and throw some cars in those classes. Just how we have all-wheel drive drag racing, front wheel drive drag racing. Every single class will need to get filled up, and those people will begin to pioneer what it's like to be in those. So with that all said, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the premiere right now. Do you think the Honda scene is ready for all-wheel drive to stay here for the long haul? Where do you see it going between 3 and 5 years? Let me know what you guys think. All right, guys, with that said, let's get into what happened this week on YouTube for the Honda scene. I'm going to start this out with Cream Supreme out there with the EK hatch. This guy's been building a K20A2 EK4 for quite some time right now. He actually just picked up a couple new things, a Pexi exhaust, which looks really nice. And I love the fact that this guy bought an entire RSX Type S because it was cheaper than actually just getting the motor swap. So I'm really excited for this build. It's coming along very nicely, and I'm really interested to know what color paint you choose. Speaking of that, we got Javi Vibes out there with new additions to the silver EK hatch as well. I love these cars. I really love to build one myself, and I'm really happy how many people are actually putting a little bit more effort into these hatches. Del Sols are on the rise. EG hatches have always been on the rise, but EKs are a little lackluster, you know. Tommy Law has been keeping it going for quite some time, but Javi is right there. I know he's got that red carpeting on the inside. He's throwing on a wing now. He's got a rear lip as well, and this guy is definitely a person that puts love into everything he builds, so I'm super excited to see the end result for this one. Following that, we got Izzy Still, YDGN, out there in SoCal, building up his photography career, but also throwing up a lot of videos of how he does things behind the scenes. In his latest video, he's actually showing you what he's doing right now with the brand new FK8 CTR in white, taking it out there to where he takes all the pictures that he does right now. So I'm super excited for you, man. I'm really happy that you're showing the behind the scenes, and we get to see the finished products as well. After that, we got VASILE Garage. This is one of the craziest K24 turbo builds going on right now on YouTube with the Integra. I'm really excited because when you were going NA, everything looked so picture perfect. And after everything you opened up for the Vibrant builds, this is insanity. Even the way that you did the vacuum lines, even the way you're doing the cooling, the vacuum lines, routing everything for the turbo, it's just so well thought out, and the ingenuity is off the charts, man. One of the definite builds I love watching. I love just staring at the engine bay to get different ideas, or just seeing like, oh wow, you ran it like that. I didn't even know that was even possible. And just seeing all the tips and tricks you use to just bend the hard wire or hide your wires or just route vacuum lines. That kind of stuff only happens when you build so many cars, and I'm really excited to see how much power you put down. In the latest video, he actually shows you putting the twin disc clutch in the car to hold down all that power and just slap the transmission right on. After that, we got the guys out there, DIY Mike, building a 300 horsepower NA build, K24 head on a K20 block. That's actually reverse of the normal stuff that happens, but you know what? They're just trying to see how much power they can make on the cheap K-Series all motor. So I'm really excited for that. I'm really excited the fact that you guys built the all Chinese build and how much power you can make there, and then you went right after and did how much money it takes to actually build a 1,000 horsepower build. And let me tell you, it is not cheap, using all quality parts, real parts, and making it all happen. So I'm really excited to see this K24 K20 build. No one's really doing that, obviously, because you just kind of had these parts and you're like, let's make it happen. But these guys out there, DIY Mike channel, you guys know what to do. Following that, we got Chris SADOWSKI, B20 VTEC, Del Sol, finally going boost. And I don't mean finally, I just mean he hasn't been boosting in a long time. I think since he used to have an FC really a long time ago, but he came up a turbo and then slowly started acquiring all of these parts. He didn't even see it happening. He just got the turbo and everybody was just like, yo, I have this, I have this, I have this. And you know what? SADOWSKI is one of those guys that when those things kind of pop up, he doesn't stop running. So I know everything's getting moving right now on the Del Sol. You're going to be super happy with the power you put down. I know he just wants to have a little bit of pep, still have reliability. I know usually, you can't get all of that at the same time, but I think he's going to be able to pull this off. I'm really excited for this build. Next up, we got BODE Vision out there with Zosh's Integra. Back at it again. He's got the shock tower extensions because the shock towers were getting a little beat up because Zosh was actually riding pretty low. The engine bay is getting prepped because while the motor is out of Zosh's car because it got hydro locked, BODE's back at it, painting the engine bay so it looks as nice as the outside does. I'm really excited for this because I want to see the next incarnation of Zosh's Integra. Following that, we got Brandon Extreme Daily Drivers out there also in Florida with the 3rd gen Prelude, doing one of the cleanest wire tucks I have seen right now, and it's really interesting to see you work around a B21 out of the Prelude. It's insane how many different wires you have, how you have to route them. The intake manifold's weird, the way the injectors are placed, the way you're routing all the wire. It's just crazy because honestly you never see those motors getting worked on that often, and then to see the extent that you're going to go to make that engine bay look as clean as you want it. It's a really awesome job. It's a 2-parter wire tuck, but you know what? He goes into very, very good detail, and he shows you a little cool ways to actually route the wires so that you don't even see them, but how clean he wants to make it. After that, we actually have Zosh with the K24A build, showing you yet again how to put a K20 oil pump on the bottom of that motor. He had to actually chisel off a little bit because you have to fit it on the bottom of the block, but he's getting everything set up, all painted, primered, getting ready to get put in the bay. It's going to be insane. All black motor. I'm really excited for this one. Following that, we got Solar Skate, finally with the motor in, ITBs in the Del Sol track build. If you guys haven't been following, you absolutely should. Started with the shell, got it all taken down, painted it white, interior is red, the roll bar is red, ITBs in the engine. The engine bay is very, very sorted. I really, really like the way you're doing everything, man, and I can't wait to see it on the road, and I think it's probably only a video or two later. All right, guys, last but not least, we have Throttle. I know you guys have seen this channel building other cars, but they did pick up an EK. Actually brought to my attention that they want to do rear wheel drive for the EK, mainly because Mikey's already has a B16 EG and it's a very, very nice one. I'm sure you guys have already seen it, the white EG with the highlighter yellow colors, but they have a red EK right now that's probably not going to be the same color. They got Sabon carbon all over the place. They got the rear glass put on the rear hatch, and they are discussing how they want to do this. Obviously, he already has front wheel drive. People online right now are doing a lot of all-wheel drive. Rear wheel drive is not being done, so obviously that would be the obvious choice for them to go for. That's what sparked the conversation at the beginning of this. What do you think of a rear wheel drive EK hatch? You think it's going to be fun? You think it's going to be weird? You think it's just new? I like it. We've seen a few of them, but at the same time, you know, I've driven one in Forza. It's kind of crazy, but you know, Forza real life, it's, you know, it's a little different, obviously. But Throttle, definitely check it out. I'm really happy to see a big channel like this actually putting the effort in on building an EK hatch. Not many people, you know, when you get too big, still want to mess with Hondas because maybe the views aren't there unless you're going to throw an eBay turbo on it and just destroy the thing, because that always gets views. But for the most part, really excited for this. Definitely check out the Throttle channel. Real wheel drive EK, not 100% positive on the power plant though. Let me know if you know. All right, guys, that's it for this episode of the Honda Recap. Thank you all for joining me yet again. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up and that bell so you're notified every Monday night at 8 o'clock when this thing airs. Shout out to our sponsor, Dempsey Corp, building the all-wheel drive billet bell housing. But if you want to do something, you have an idea, you want to manufacture something, definitely hit them up on Instagram at Dempsey Corp _. Hit them up. Just be like, yo, Thehondavlogs said you guys can maybe make something for me. Hit them up. InvictusJP, bringing you JDM bronze glass for the EF and EG platform, coming very soon. Hit up thehondavlogs.com/shop. Pick yourself up a hoodie, a sticker, or anything else you guys want to support the channel. Thank you all in Premiere right now. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.